Hello, everyone out in YouTube. We are the middle-aged guys, and we bullshit about nothing. I'm the Reverend.
The theme here.
Reverend.
The last week of October leading into November was actually a really busy week for the video game industry. There's a lot of subjects that, unfortunately, I can't say that all of them are good. A majority of them are just really, really stupid. So what we're going to try to do, and we're going to try to cover in this particular video, is last week's video game news, last week's dumb video game news. We're going to go ahead and we're going to try to cover it as quickly and concisely as possible. All right. First thing that happened all the way on October 31st, I believe. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the name of the newest Tomb Raider game that is currently in production in the Eidos Montreal studios. The name of the game was leaked after somebody went ahead and spotted somebody working on unofficial paperwork or forms for the game, and for somebody who was actually using the subway on their laptop. You know, they're using the laptop on the subway out in public, not being mindful of people around them. And the passenger who had noticed it decided to take out their phone, snap a real quick pic of it, and then they posted it up, I believe, on Twitter. And yeah, a lot of the mainstream game media went ahead. They saw it. They got in contact with Eidos to ask them about it, and nobody denied it. So we now know that the newest Tomb Raider game that's going to be coming out is going to be named Shadow of the Tomb Raider. What are your thoughts, guys?
Oh, boy.
As somebody who's worked with publishers before and who's signed NDAs and knows the dangers of having a digital camera out on the workplace, this is about the most stupid fucking mistake that you can make.
Exactly. That's why I don't really have any thoughts, except that this is just plain stupid. I mean, come on, dude. You mean it's funny how you get warnings about stuff like this, and you have to sign some paperwork, and you still.
It's not a fucking subway. It's not a private spot. What about you, Greyhouse? What are your thoughts on it?
That's what I'm saying. A subway?
It's not a private spot.
Exactly. I mean, even if it would have been somewhere like Starbucks, same stupid shit.
Yeah.
But inside a subway?
What about you, Grey Mouse? What are your thoughts on it?
He fired.
He, she, whoever they are. Yeah, this is something that can get you fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't when the mainstream gaming media, have they got any comment back from Eidos?
Eidos?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Idiots. They should change their name to that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Again, it could all be fucking just. I don't really see anybody being. Well,
Wait, seriously?
I just don't want to jump and attack on something that's.
Why not?
Having,
if something is stupid, which this is,
but we don't know if there's any truth behind it. Is the problem?
Yeah. Okay.
I'd rather be concise and have something to back it up than just say, oh, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's phrase it as if this is true, then the guy is an idiot.
Okay. The funny thing,
the person is an idiot.
Yeah. The funny thing about this is that this actually happened before, and it looks like it happened out of Montreal, because Ubisoft has their Montreal studios. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag let's see here. That was leaked out the exact same way. Somebody was working on their laptop in the subway, and that was revealed like years earlier from when its official release date was, which was 2013.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it could be a big publicity stunt for the studio.
I doubt that.
I'm just saying. I just take all this with a. I mean, yeah, the guy's an idiot for leaking out a supposedly secret game that we all knew was coming, because the Tomb Raider game was great. I recommend anybody play it, and then you definitely want a second game to it. But I mean, I just take this with a grain of salt. That I'm sorry, man. I'm just more skeptical than you guys are. I'm just trying to be the other side here. I mean, we don't know anything. The gaming company, Montreal, is not saying anything. And as far as we know, it could just be, a publicity stunt or a hoax or whatever.
Okay. So you're more skeptical about this, but about Nintendo being cartridge again.
No, we already knew that.
No, we didn't.
There was already evidence for that. We saw
there's evidence for this. There was a fucking photo taken.
Yeah.
And that shit went viral.
Yep.
You know what I mean? This is not just lip service here.
Nah.
Well, to be completely fair, Square Enix hasn't responded back on any inquiries about it. The funny thing about that is that if it was fake, all of 90% of the time, these companies would sit there and say, nope, completely.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Just like the Nintendo shit that we covered.
Yeah. Like I said, this happened before with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, where the photo was snapped with somebody's laptop on a Montreal subway again, years before the game even came out. And yeah, guess what? When it came out, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So yeah, this is not something that happens without precedent. But hey, look, it's interesting. All I got to say is that, look, if you're somebody who works for a publisher or any company that requires you to sign an NDA, stop working on your shit in public places for your own sake. It doesn't matter if it's video games, music, movies, IP copywriting or any other things. Just stop doing that. It's not a good thing. All right. On to other things. Pictures like Gray Mouse was saying, we don't know if this picture is real. That's actually something that's come up in many of the game industry over the last few weeks, the last few months. In particular, the type of media that they actually use for game web pages when it comes to digital storefronts, like on Xbox Live or PSN or even Steam. So much so that if you remember just last month, No Man's Sky and Hello Games was actually coming under investigation by the European Advertising Authority, or the United Kingdom's Advertising Authority, for false advertising. Because of that, it looks like and other games that have been made mention of, Steam actually announced out last week. Excuse me. That where am I? Yeah, on the 2nd of November last week, they announced out that they were going to ban any sort of what they call bullshots or from product pages, and that any media or any pictures or still pictures as far as what goes on Steam storefront has got to show actual gameplay footage, and that they wouldn't be able to get by just concept artwork or early tech demos or stuff like that. This particular announcement, like I said, I don't think it's it's much of a coincidence that it comes off the fact that No Man's Sky is being under investigation for false advertisement. But yeah, Steam, I think, is actually kind of stepping in and putting that forward for everybody. I think it's pretty interesting. What do you guys think about it?
It took them this long in order to fucking have something like that. It took an investigation to actually come up with something like this as far as saying that, okay, yeah, you need more and more proof of something actually that's going to be in your fucking game. It took them this long. I mean, when you think about it, it's like this should have been done years, decades ago.
The problem with it is that nobody's complained about it up to this particular level until now.
Now, wait a minute. Okay, what about games that sucked and that said, okay, wait. Halo 5 was an example of that.
It's not even a question about games that suck, because here's the thing about Halo 5, as far as all of that stuff goes, for the majority of the stuff like that they used and everything else, I think.
No, it wasn't the fact that Halo 5 is the opinion that it's sucking. I'm talking about the false advertising about it. It was basically Spartan Locke hunting Master Chief. That's what it fucking was advertised as. And it wasn't like that in the game. But
Microsoft wasn't brought up on false advertising.
Right, because this is the United States. This investigation is happening in Europe.
Yeah. But the thing the one thing that is involved as far as what the Advertisement Association over there in Europe goes is that they wrapped up Steam with it. All right, and nobody was going to sit there and wrap up Xbox Live with stuff that's falsely advertised for Halo 5. No one was going after Microsoft themselves for that. All right. What are your thoughts on it, Grey Mouse?
I honestly don't think they have a case.
As far as
false advertising. I mean, because...
Well, as far as saying that they are, okay, this, and this are going to be in the game, and then that shit is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
It's not DLC.
Yeah, I don't think they have a case. I mean, especially with how many games, like you mentioned before, has previously done that and nothing was brought up. I mean, gaming companies have been doing that since the Atari days. You look at ET, for example. So I really don't. I think
people just didn't read the instructions for ET.
I just think that it's just smoke and mirrors. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But I think what really sparked the whole thing was when Sony, mentioned a couple of things about it, like, hey, Hello Games, you really fucked up, But I don't really think, because, I mean, what kind of Pandora box is that going to open up if it goes in litigation?
It won't open any if motherfuckers deliver what they promise.
But
here's the thing about the Advertisement Authority. We covered this in the previous video. Nobody's going to get sued over it. There is no class action lawsuit that's going to happen. The only thing that they're going to sit there, they're going to tell Hello Games is that they got to change whatever media they have on Steam.
Exactly.
Now,
so those people that think that this is going to be open up a can of worms, you got another thing coming. You got.
No, I think. I think though what I'm really asking is how do you think that's going to affect Steam as a whole and other online marketplaces as a whole, now that somebody is going out of their way and actually requiring this from the people who are putting this up on the store?
Yeah, sorry I was going over you, but in my opinion, that was a very good point that you just made, Reverend. I think it will force the companies like Steam to pay more attention on how they advertise the game, how they allow a publisher to advertise their game on their site, especially sites like Steam, a service like Steam, where a concept art, and that's all you see, and it says, download for $9.99, whatever. And I think that gamers, customers deserve more than a fucking a box art or a small clippet of a demo that was probably in beta or alpha state, before
Well, they did get that at E3.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is that this case is going to make Steam, which it already has, it's going to make them rein in a little bit of these companies that are taking advantage of. I mean, and the same thing is, like, I have to say what you said earlier, thing, is that it took them too long to do this. I mean, how long has Steam been around? They've been around for years, and when they became a service, when Valve made a service, they should have done this from the get-go. They should not just allow, these mediocre beta tech demos to be the representation of the game as a whole.
I don't think it's a bad thing that Steam is doing.
No. Maybe you misunderstood. No. I'm not saying it's bad. No, I'm praising Steam for this. Maybe you took it the wrong way. No. I was not.
No. Hear me out here. I don't think it's a bad thing that Steam's doing. I also don't think it's their fault. I really don't. Because the thing is that reason being is that nobody has complained to the same degree as what's happened over the last year about any such thing at all. Okay. So with this particular thing, yeah, I think it was inevitable that it was going to happen. I think it would have been a lot more effective if people just decided not to buy shit. All right. That would have changed things a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, this particular thing was inevitable. All right. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like here's the real measure of how influential this could be. All right. If Xbox Live and PSN and Green Man Gaming and GOG and Desura and other online marketplaces start doing the same thing, then yeah, this particular thing is go ahead and really, if it influences the industry in that way, then yeah, good on you, Steam. All right. Otherwise, people, if you're out there and you want to make a difference, or you want to influence publishers and marketplaces as far as their decision to go ahead and market things, do the smart thing and just not buy shit. Okay, they'll change things up really quick. All right. Speaking of buying shit and changing things, continuing on with this theme of really dumb video game news. Over the last week, starting on October 31st, basically a Reddit poster who was located in Myanmar, named Trivial Sublime. He started reporting that his access to his origin account was suddenly blocked at the beginning of October, even though he had games that were on there that he had rightfully went ahead and purchased through the retail service. And then after that, other origin users started reporting that they indeed were seeing the same thing happen. Basically, what had happened was that there's an old trade embargo that was placed on Myanmar. Which, funny thing is that in order for EA Origins to comply with trade regulations and everything else, they had to sit there and limit access to certain countries out in the world. Myanmar, Iran, Sudan, some of the other Middle Eastern countries, and some of the other countries that we have trade embargoes against, like North Korea and things like that. So what they did in a sweeping movement, they decided to go ahead and turn off access to all of those particular countries at a flip of a switch. The funny thing about that is that the trade embargo against Myanmar was actually lifted on October 7th. Okay, before they decided to go ahead and turn access off to all of their games, and that created quite a stir. Now, EA did go out of their way, and they did respond to it, saying that we are working to restore access to Origin players for our players in Myanmar. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused, and we'll share updates on timing as soon as possible. And at this time, actually, I don't think they have access to their games yet. Guys, what are your quick thoughts on that?
EA, enough said.
What about you, Great Mouse?
I'm more of a. To me, it just seems like it was just under the bad, unfortunate things. You know what I mean? It was just an unfortunate event, and it just followed in the fold of the trade embargoes. And again, I'm totally against digital rights management, and that's what it was. And it's like, because I think their physical games worked. It was just that their stuff that they bought as downloaded, because you could buy games, digitally only, and that's what was blocked. I mean, they still couldn't get to the Origin site, but there's still games that could run without Origin.
Well, older games that aren't dependent on it. But guess what? If you were somebody in Myanmar over the last month and you've got a PS4 and Xbox One, an EA game that requires Origin, even if you have the physical disc, you aren't playing that fucking game over there in Myanmar.
That's just very, I mean, sometimes, again, like we said before on these channels, is that sometimes real life affects the gaming, and this is one of those situations that's what happened. I mean, EA's not at fault. I wouldn't say it's really true. You can't really blame EA because, I mean, they
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
But they don't. EA does not have. They have to abide by a trade embargo. You cannot go.
That was lifted on October 7th.
I understand that.
It is today. Is November. It's about to be November 8th.
Yeah.
Election day. There's no way that for one fucking month that this should be continuing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before that, fine. After that, no.
I don't think it's you guys make it out to where they where EA can just flip a fucking switch and
yes they can because they were able to go ahead and turn it off.
I think there's a lot more red tape that's outside of the gaming realm, political shit, where they can't flip that thing yet.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Xbox One was not capable of having Xbox 360 backwards compatible games. Yeah, they weren't able to turn off the fucking the DRM shit in 2013. Really, it was more things. It just wasn't a fucking flip of the fuck that. All right, it is just a flip of a fucking switch.
You guys are very biased against EA.
What do you mean biased?
You consider EA the evil empire.
You haven't been a gamer if you do not understand.
Look, no, I know EA has fucked up countless times and then beyond. God, they fucked up. They are the evil empire. But what I'm saying is, I understand what at least.
It's funny how you would say the same thing and agree with us if it was PlayStation Network.
No,
because you have done that as far as PlayStation Network doing certain things or not doing certain things at certain times.
I did say that about PlayStation Network, and I said that about Xbox Live Network. I have no bias against anything.
No, what I'm saying is this. You're saying that it's more politics involved when it isn't.
You don't know that.
I know that. I know this. I know this.
If you guys think so.
No, I know so. Like I said, I work for a developer that does mobile applications, and guess what? When we're going ahead and we're submitting applications to go on the iOS store, when you're going through the submission process, it says there are regions and locales. If you want to limit access to those regions, locales, all it is check mark boxes. And
yeah, I know it's a spreadsheet. I got that. But I'm not, let me put this way. I'm not defending EA. I know it sounds like it, but I'm not. But, what they did was pretty fucked up. But, I mean, did they send out email the same day that they found out that they're...
No. Well, people just found out that their shit was turned off.
Found out on their own.
Yeah, and then when they started complaining about it, and when mainstream media started bugging EA about it, that's when they finally released out a.
How long ago? How long was the statement released out? After the fact.
Back in like the middle of October.
So 2 weeks. Right.
Yeah. And like I said, it got shut off at the beginning of the month. Guess what? The trade embargo went away on the 7th.
That's pretty slow.
Yeah.
It was either that I mean, it almost to a point to where EA just didn't care.
Well, no, they didn't give a fuck. All right, because the thing is that they went ahead. It just sounds like somebody went ahead and like, oh crap, we're gonna fall under we're gonna be found outside of regulation, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn off all this access without realizing that, guess what, some of the countries on that list of embargoes, countries that had trade embargoes against, that those embargoes were cleared earlier in the year. So they decided to shut that off anyways.
When did those embargoes go online?
These are trade embargoes. These are long-standing trade embargoes.
What I'm saying is, this is what I don't understand. This is where I'm confused. Is that obviously these certain countries got the game.
Yeah.
No, they at some point.
Yeah.
They downloaded that shit.
Yeah. No. Origin EA had sold these people copies of these games.
So they broke embargo. So EA broke embargo is what I'm asking.
All right.
At what point
remember, even if you had the physical copy.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to let's look at this logically. At one point,
no, EA was
able to download that game.
EA was very willing to go ahead and sell these games to them over the Origin service.
Past the embargo.
Yeah, whether or not they were falling in compliance or not. Now, okay, let me just put this way. Okay, I'm going to highlight this point right here. I'm not going to rag on EA, but what I am going to point out is that if there are people who are out there extolling the virtues of digital media and going fully digital, all right, saying that it is so much more convenient and that I don't have to worry about physical copies and I can play my shit at any time, anywhere that I want. This right here is Exhibit A that, guess what? If somebody goes out of their way and they have a wild hair up their ass and they flip a switch and they click on save on an internet form, guess what? You're not going to be able to play your shit. There's a reason why a lot of us say that physical media is king. Okay? Because guess what? Even with the physical media that's out there that requires DRM, online DRM, I can find cracks out there for that shit. Okay? So this particular thing, as far as it goes, is not a highlight on EA. They just happen to be the ones who fucked up and did exactly what a lot of people were afraid of happening when it came to DRM and digital media.
DRM, digital restrictive movement. That's what I call it.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just one of the things that a lot of people have to sit there and think about, because that's just when it comes to a lot of this digital stuff and all of that, a lot of it is software based. And if they want to sit there and they want to say, hey, look, you can't play these particular things, or you can't play with other people someplace else, this is how it works. People will set that up. Case in point, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, love it, hate it, whatever you want, whether or not you like it, whether or not you bought it, maybe you haven't. I will say that if you do buy it, go out of your way, buy it for a console. Don't buy it for the fucking PC. All right? Because for some stupid reason, Activision, in conjunction with Microsoft, went out of their way to do the stupidest thing in all the world. The folks who buy Call of Duty for PC through Windows 10 Marketplace, they can play the game. They can play the game. They can play multiplayer as long as they're playing with people who also bought it through the Windows 10 Marketplace. They cannot play alongside multiplayer against people who bought the Steam version. Likewise, if somebody bought the Steam version, they can't play it with somebody who has the Windows 10 version. for some stupid reason, Activision and Microsoft decided to go ahead and split the title and its user base across the platform, which is insane.
That doesn't make any sense. That's the funny part. That doesn't make any sense. What?
Okay, so the game wasn't on the Play Anywhere program.
No.
But
even in that case, if you do buy it from Windows 10, you can't play against the Xbox One players anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But what Reverend is saying is like, wait, so Steam players can't play Windows 10 players. Wait a second. How does that make any sense? I can understand Xbox One and PS4. Like me and you, Grey Mouse, we won't be able to play that shit together because we're on two separate platforms. I understand. But Steam, which is PC, and Windows 10, which is PC, you mean to tell me they drew a line between the two?
Yeah.
That's the part that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. This particular news started hitting the websites and news fronts all the way back on the 3rd. And the funny thing about this is that it wasn't Microsoft or Activision who came out and announced that. Okay, they didn't let anybody know about it. It was actually the players themselves and reviewers themselves wondering aloud, why the fuck can I play? I've got the Steam version.
Something like this is not the publisher's fault.
Actually, in this particular one, it is. All right.
Well, it is Activision's fault?
Yeah.
Not Microsoft or Steam's fault this time. Is that
because when asked about it, Microsoft actually went out of their way. They were asked about it.
But can't Microsoft and Steam correct that?
Well, here's the thing, all right?
Or is it just up to Activision?
It's up to Activision to correct that. Okay.
So since a flip was a fucking switch, Activision, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, because when they asked Microsoft about it,
the switch, Activision.
The statement from Microsoft said they simply responded back with one line: "We support crossplay between devices and platforms for partners who want to enable it." Okay, now that makes it sound like they're throwing Activision under the bus, which they are.
That's basically what it is.
Okay.
It's like, okay, Activision, turn that shit on.
But the I'm not going to give Microsoft a pass on this, because guess what? If you have played or purchased any of their games through the Windows 10 marketplace, they've done this shit with other titles before.
I was assuming that. I was just about to ask that. Hasn't this been done? People didn't say shit, but now since this is something as popular as Call of Duty, yeah, people actually want to say something about it.
Yeah. No, it's happened with other games before.
But fuck that. I'm not letting that go. Activision, flip the fucking switch and turn this shit on.
Yeah. That's dumb as shit.
What kind of shit is that?
Man, like I said, a lot of stupid news. Grey Mouse, you have any other thoughts on this particular one?
Yeah. Has it been as recent before Microsoft announced that they want to do like multi-network, multi-platform?
Well,
to me, when Microsoft threw that out there, and they pretty much told everybody in the industry, like, come on. Let's coalesce and let's freaking play Call of Duty on your Wii U or on whatever system you got, and fucking let's do it. But I don't know. That's why I was asking.
A lot of that stuff, as far as per game, a lot of that is left up to the publisher. Okay, but the reason why I point this out is, like I said, Microsoft has made it, when they have made every effort to go ahead and push the Windows 10 marketplace up to the forefront, so that people who are using Windows 10 PCs, they pretty much have a banner, something live in front of them, discouraging them from using other services as much as fucking possible. Okay.
Well, no, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that Microsoft is the only company at this point right now is trying to push this cross-platform multiplayer gaming. I mean, they're the only one that I know thus far that actually came out and said, they even pressured Sony.
Ultimately,
they don't have enough exclusives to keep motherfuckers.
I'm not trying to
ultimately, though, it is up to the publisher, because really, well, the shining example of a publisher who's gone out of their way to go ahead and set that up and even make use of it, and this is even before the whole, oh, Phil Spencer talked about crossplay and at a fucking seasonal State of the Union fucking address, was the guys who did Rocket League. All right, they do crossplay between PSN and PC, or Xbox One and PC. They've been doing that forever. All right, that's one of the reasons why people still play that, even though the game is like almost 3 years old. Actually,
fun.
Even longer than that, actually.
The game is fun. Rocket League is fun.
Yep, and that kind of encompasses all of the dumb-ass video game news for last week. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we go ahead and wrap this one up?
No.
Yeah, I got one more.
Go ahead.
For all those motherfuckers that are bitching about the goddamn NES Mini controller being 2.5 feet long, fuck off. That's gonna be silly.
We'll have to go ahead and address that one in a different video.
That's other silly news.
Yeah. Hopefully, when we actually have those things, if we actually get those things in our hands, we'll be able to go ahead and address that out. But for this particular video and all of the stupid shit that happened last week in the news, that if you haven't heard about it, you've heard about it now from us. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you again for following this up all the way through until the end of this particular video. If you're so kind, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave us a comment below, especially if you think we've missed something or we're completely misinformed on anything. We're not above correction. Feel free to do that. All right. We're the middle-aged guys, and we bullshit about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
One.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming. See, common sense and logic was thrown out of it because this is stupid fucking gaming news. Credits.